Earlier in the week, we traveled to the Foundry Restaurant in Manchester, New Hampshire, and sat down with a small group of Trump voters, assembled with the help of YouGov on the one-year anniversary of the president's election. We wanted to see if he was living up to their expectations. Some responses were as we anticipated, but some surprised us. It's been 1 year since Donald Trump was elected president. Who here, by show of hands, thinks the country is doing better now than it was a year ago? All 6 of you. All right. Tom, why do you think the country's doing better now?
I think the economy's remained strong. I think that's very important. Job growth has been good. We haven't had too many major conflicts internationally yet. There's a lot of things brewing, but overall, I think we've had a stable year, which is good.
Diane, why is this year better with Donald Trump as president?
I agree with most of that, and also I think he's doing a lot of things behind the scenes that most people don't know about, and a lot of them was raising the restrictions to make business more robust, and I think that he is doing something about immigration, but it seems to be very slow.
Would you like to see him go faster on immigration?
Yes.
And what does that mean? Does that mean building the wall, or?
We've all kind of discussed this, and the consensus was we'd like to have all of the illegal aliens go home.
Dina, why do you think the country's better off this year, after a year?
I think that we're doing better financially. The stock market's going up, but I also think that it's because a lot of things that haven't been put into place yet, like the tax reform.
Who's doing better when the stock market goes up?
Well, everybody ends up doing better when the stock market goes up because it pumps more money into the economy when it comes right down to it. But a strong economy is a strong economy for everybody. It does trickle down. I know a lot of people don't like that trickle down, but it has to come from somewhere.
Has it trickled? Have you felt the benefits of the trickle down either this past year or in general?
No, I haven't.
Who here thinks that Congress is responsible for making things better in the last year? By show of hands.
0 for 6.
Is there a way to show your hands going down? Is there? Who has a particularly? So none of you think Congress is contributing to America in a big. You do or don't?
I don't. I think that they have become so entrenched with each other, and everybody's helping everybody else. They can't get anything done. And it's not Democrats or Republicans, it's every one of them.
Peter, why Donald Trump is a negotiator? Why can't he get Congress to come in line with what he wants?
Well, I think that the way things work in Washington is a lot different than in the business world. I would venture a guess that this is something that Trump has had to adjust to. It seems like it's been a pretty difficult adjustment.
Terry, what do you feel about people who are in Congress? Should they work for their constituents or work for Donald Trump? If they're Republicans?
They ought to follow their party platform, and from whatever stems from that. We have a majority, or the GOP has a majority in Congress, Senate, and the presidency, and they're not working together. And it's shameful. It destroys the party, in my view, and it just creates more independence.
Dennis, what's the most unfair criticism of the president?
That he's a bully.
Why is it unfair to say that he's a bully?
It's how people perceive him. Some people will say he's a bully. Other people will say he's more aggressive or showing his power. You don't get to the level of where he is without some kind of aggressiveness or what people perceive as being a bully. And he's loud and he's obnoxious, and I still like him.
Dina, tell me, who should your kids look up to in our culture?
Right now, there's really not very many people to look up to. What I was thinking is that our society, how it is right now, the divisiveness between the Republicans and the Democrats, Trump supporters, non-Trump supporters, all of the hate that we were just talking about, and being sort of flushed into the community. It seems to me like that's a mirror reflection of what's going on in Congress.
Dennis, who's the moral leader in America? Does America have a moral leader?
Right now, no. When I think back, when I was younger, like we look up to Eisenhower. I personally like Kennedy. We really don't have that cut-and-dried person anymore. When Reagan was in office, people looked up to him. We haven't had that.
As a Trump supporter, though, you're not listing the president in that same category when you name moral leaders who've been presidents.
No, because he's not, I wouldn't say lacking morals, but he's not leading like that, like a moral leader.
Do you think President Trump has helped foster a sense of community in America, or?
Oh, he's made it much worse. I think that any kind of cultural renewal that happens will not be done in any reference to him. This is something that has to happen between people.
In the past, presidents have brought nations together. Why is President Trump, why can't he do that?
Well, he's a funny case. Like he just will lie or like make things up for the effect it has on other people. That's not a way that a good person will live their life. That's what happens when you're trying to defeat someone else, right? And that's what he's trying to do.
So should we, Terry, start looking at our presidents and just take out the being honest, being truthful, the things that we normally associate with presidents? Should we absent that and say, hey, if they're effective, that's okay?
I'm thinking about this, that the president should be a moral and spiritual and intellectual leader for the nation, not for the religious part of the nation or the educational part of the nation, but he's supposed to protect and preserve the country and its laws.
Tom, does the president tell the truth, and if he doesn't, does that bother you?
It does bother me. I think we're a much better nation when people tell the truth. We're a much better community when they tell the truth, and it is very frustrating. It's one of the big knocks on the president is that he can't seem to keep his ego in check and keep the lies under control. And it's personally one of my biggest frustrations with him. He's in a very serious role. He needs to act presidential and step it up. It's been almost a year, and I'm hoping that he'll turn the corner soon, because he's going to start losing even his supporters at some point.
You voted for him. Is your vote up in the air now?
Absolutely. Yep, absolutely. I really thought we'd be further along by now. I thought he would have turned that corner early on, and that hasn't happened. So yes, I am disappointed overall. And it'll be interesting in 3 years or less when we start seeing who's running for office next time.
Dina, do you have any advice for the president?
So I feel like the president, he's detrimental to what he's trying to do. I don't feel like he's trying to manipulate people, doing it on purpose, or whoever said that. I feel like he is weak. That's a sign of weakness. He knows he shouldn't be tweeting these things. And it worries me because he says he's a smart person, but it's clear to everybody that this is not helping him. And to me, I would think the whole reason why I was okay voting with him is because I believed he was going to surround himself with the right people. And I'm pretty sure the people around him are telling him that you need to stop doing this.
Do you think he doesn't listen to the people who surround him?
Yes, and that's what worries me. So he's either not as smart as he says he is, or how I want to believe he is, or he's not listening to these people, because I'm sure they're telling him that. And if he's not listening to them on that, it does worry me for what might happen in the future, that he might not listen to them.
And we'll be back in a moment.